All right, I'm going to talk to you guys today about how this class is organized and how I grade. For this class, there are four basic different types of grades. You'll be getting exams. The Beast, that's your research project. There's a couple of activities for 1303, and there's lecture notes and quizzes in this class. There's four exams, one for each unit that we're going to study. I made the first exam 10% because that's usually the exam that everybody does the worst on. So everybody's kind of getting used to how the tests look and stuff. There are two activities for 1303. I'm going to send you to the library to get a book to do your research with. And then I'm also going to send you to the art museum during this class. And then we have lecture notes. There's a lot of notes in this class, so I'll take a grade for Unit 1 notes and Unit 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes. And then there are quizzes in this class. And so in 1303 has a lot of chapters associated with it. This number of 26 might change, and if it does change, it's going to go down. I might take a couple of those out. But anyways, these little quizzes, it should take you about 5 minutes to do each one. When I talk to my students about how long it takes to do these are pretty quick assignments. They're meant to be easy. They're meant to help you with your exam grades. All right. So for those of you that are taking this class online, there's a lot of, you'll be watching my lecture videos. I've calculated, how many videos I have and what their times are. And you'll be watching about 19 hours of my lecture for this class. Now, normally in a college class, there are 48 meetings, each an hour long. All right, I want to talk about the Beast. And this is your research project. You'll be turning in your research project towards the end of the semester. And the research project is composed of these 9 assignments on the left. And the assignment on the right, where it says final product, that is putting all of these things on the left into one document and turning that in. And I have instructional videos for each and every one of these assignments. So that's about a little bit more than 2.5 hours of watching videos. All right, so now let's look at how the Beast is graded. So I've divided it up into what I call our previews. All right, so and the intention of a preview is to keep you guys on track so you're not trying to do this all last minute. And so I have these due dates for each one of these. You notice that the percentage that they are worth is quite small. The real heavy weight of your grade on this research project is in the final product. All these things are going to get turned in with the final product anyways. It's just turning it in on time, keep those grades up. Here's how I grade each preview. So the preview is basically you've done these short little assignments and you've turned it into me, and I'm going to look over it and make sure that it's okay. I'll draw corrections on it. So if you turn it in on time and you give me an honest effort on it, I'll give you full credit of 100 points, and I'll make comments, if there's anything that you need to fix. Now, if you turn it in late, you're not going to get any credit, but I'll still make comments on it, tell you things that you need to correct. All right. So you'll get a 0 on it, but it's important to turn it in. I'd rather you turn it in late than not at all. Turning it in late allows me to look over it and tell you if you're on the right track. And remember, it's only worth 1%. So, turning 1 or 2 in late is not going to hurt you. But it's a good idea to turn things on time. After I make the comments and point out the things that you need to fix for when you turn it in with the final product, you have the option to turn it back in with all the corrections made. You don't have to. It's not going to change your grade. If you turn it in on time, it'll still be 100. If you turn it in late, it'll still be a 0. But there are some students who basically are asking me, "Is this correct? Did I fix this correctly?" And so I'll communicate with you on that. All right, so what does late mean? Here's how I'm going to handle turning things in late, and this only applies to the Beast. Everything else in the class is a hard deadline, and if you turn it in late, you've missed the assignment, you get a 0. But with this Beast or the research project, I would rather you turn it in late so I can look over it and correct it so that when you turn it in for your final product, you get a better grade. All right, you make sure that everything's corrected. I'm going to give you 23 hours to turn something in after the deadline. So if you turn it in 1 hour late or 22 hours late, and even up to 23 hours, I will still accept it as on time. If it says day, as soon as it hits 24 hours, it's 1 day late. You won't get credit. I would rather you turn them in late than not at all. So when I correct these, I'm going to show you the things that you need to fix on your paper. The purpose of this is for you to get a better grade on your final product. And also, it's a little bit selfish for me. It makes it easier for me to grade it. If I put in a grade that says 11.11, contact me because, there's some big mistake that you need to fix and redo. If you fix whatever it is, you can turn it back in for full credit. I want to talk about, as this is an online class, with my online classes, I get a lot of this. I have students that have a family emergency when something is due, or their technology doesn't work when something is due. So do not wait until the last minute to get things done. Please, I'm telling you now, when you've waited to the last minute and something happens and you're out of luck, because I've given you this warning now, I've talked to you about this now. Please, please, please do not wait until the last minute. Here's another life lesson. You ever heard of Murphy's Law? If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. If you are trying to turn something in, chances are, according to Murphy's Law, something's going to go wrong. Your computer crashed. The electricity went out because there's a storm out. Your immediate family has a family emergency, a medical emergency, and you got to go to the hospital. You got to go somewhere. All right. And you have to turn it in, and you can't because of these things. Murphy's Law says if when you're trying to turn something in, something bad will happen. You won't be able to. So please, please, please turn it in early. And that way, if when you're turning it in early, something happens and you can't, you have time to fix it and turn it in on time. I'm totally aware that sometimes technology does not cooperate. That's why you got to try to turn things in early so that when the technology doesn't cooperate, you have time to fix it. And I understand sometimes there's a family emergency. I get it. We'll just turn your stuff in early. That way, if you're trying to turn it in early, you have a family emergency, you have time to get it turned in on time. So please, please, please turn it in early. Do not gamble with your grade in this class.